Live from Southwest Florida, you're watching Fox 4 News at 5.
And we are watching American history unfold today. Former President Donald Trump facing a judge and several felony charges, something the nation has never seen before. This while the former president is now headed back to Florida after his arraignment in Manhattan. Thank you for joining us for Fox 4 News at 5. I'm Nadine Yanis. This is a live look from Mar-a-Lago, where the former president is expected to come and address the public for the first time in a hearing that we're hearing. It's happening around 8:15 tonight. Fox 4's Shari Armstrong watched this day unfold. And Shari, really the moment that many waited for was today, was learning exactly what charges the former president is facing. And you've got the details, 34 of them tonight.
That's exactly right, Nadine. Former President Donald Trump is now a criminal defendant facing 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. I want to show you what we saw earlier today. We watched as his motorcade made its way from Trump Tower to the Manhattan courthouse. And also there early this morning, we saw protesters, some showing support for the former president, some with signs saying his arrest was overdue. The judge over the case did not allow broadcasting of that arraignment, but he did grant 5 still photographers permission to shoot inside of the courtroom. Trump's attorney speaking after that arraignment today right outside of the courthouse, saying they are going to fight this.
The indictment itself is boilerplate. It doesn't allege any federal crime, any state crime that's been violated. It doesn't allege what the false statement is. And it's really disappointing. It's sad, and we're going to fight it. We're going to fight it hard.
So, of course, the next question for so many of us is what comes next for the former president? Our Scripps reporter Joe St. George explains.
One of the biggest takeaways from today's arraignment is that for the first time, we actually know what former President Trump is being charged with. Before today, his indictment wasn't public. The former president somber as he entered the courtroom after learning he is officially facing 34 felony counts. Some of those counts are related to an alleged relationship with adult film actress Stormy Daniels and an attempt to keep it from coming out in the press in the final days of the 2016 election. Remember, it's not the alleged relationship that is the heart of this case. It's whether Mr. Trump engaged in business fraud and falsified business records as a result of trying to keep that relationship quiet. Falsifying business records can be prosecuted in New York as a misdemeanor, but Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has decided to charge the former president with felonies, an option prosecutors have in New York if they believe business records were falsified in order to conceal other crimes. Former President Trump has repeatedly denied wrongdoing. On social media Tuesday, he called the entire ordeal surreal. It's important to note that Mr. Trump hasn't been convicted of anything. It's possible during the course of the upcoming trial he's found not guilty. Before we get to the verdict or even the trial, a series of pre-trial hearings is expected to take place. For instance, Mr. Trump's legal team over the coming weeks will try and convince a judge that the testimony of Michael Cohen should not be heard. Mr. Cohen is former President Trump's attorney, who is now the prosecutor's star witness. Mr. Trump's legal team has been saying for months that Mr. Cohen cannot be trusted after Cohen himself pled guilty to crimes like tax evasion and campaign finance violations. When this trial actually happens, a similar security operation to what we saw today in New York will have to occur. For instance, today, tens of thousands of NYPD police officers were either deployed to the streets of New York to maintain the peace, or they were on standby. For the most part, supporters of Mr. Trump and his critics were kept apart outside the courthouse. Joe St. George, Scripps News, New York.
Speaking of supporters for former President Trump, tonight we were supposed to hear from the president. He is expected to return to Florida and address the nation. We've been seeing people gather outside of Mar-a-Lago where he'll be speaking from. We're going to keep you updated on what he says and all of the latest developments on our website. Just go to fox4now.com.